Yourself a proper warm-up. We're deploying soon.
Furniture.
Stop warming up. Stand by for deployment.
You stood up? I'm trying to go. I ain't never giving me
Secure more casualties.
I ain't gonna hold this stick and going down. Right here. Yeah. I ain't gonna hold. Yeah. I'm about to hit this. I'm about to get this money. So, I ain't about to play games, bro. What these niggas thought they was doing. Now they about to play games. I know. I can't get over there. Drop too short. You know, hit it before I get over there.
Girl, come here.
I'm running, bro.
Grid mark.
No, you come here.
Loader 2-0. Copy.
Anybody over here? I got it. I did that. Yeah, that was me. I put that on top of the building so I can get in the building.
Proceed to the marked location and secure the area.
Game, I don't know what them niggas trying to do. They tripping, man. Second place, nigga. We the truth, bro. I'm sorry.
It's coming down.
Enemy
Yeah.
soldier incoming.
Got somebody coming in here, bro.
Grid mark. Go for close air.
Loader 2-0.
Nah, hold on. I thought he was over here with me. Let's go. We number one, nigga. Ah, he over here. Damn, this is dropping all the way to 3. God damn it. What's up, baby? He's still in that building all the way. I highlighted him, he's still over there. Chill. I forgot I had that shit. You second place. Yeah, I got a cluster strike. Yeah, I'm right next to you, right behind you. I got this cluster strike.
This is here.
Where?
I will drive.
I can't get up there though. You gotta jump down. Off the roof. I got it. Oh, nice.
Your money will be saved.
Hold on, bro. I got 100, yeah. Hold on, let me drop this cash thing, bro. I'm about to drop this cash thing right here, bro. Watch out, bro. How the hell you just do that? I see what you did. Get this cluster strike. I got it. I'm good.
Loading zero. Copy. Let's strike away.
I'm getting here. I just let it off. Nah, I just let it off to see if somebody was over there. Oh yeah. In the front back. Go ahead, I dropped mine. I already dropped mine. Go ahead.
Trouble. So he leaves a legacy for us all to follow.
Certainly does, and that was the letter K reference earlier in the day. Great American, bigger country, better. I'm Mayor Bowser. Thank you so much for joining us. I know you've got a lot going on. We appreciate it very much.
Thank you all.
Just ahead, I'll speak live and at length from Dr. Anthony Fauci about coronavirus testing troubles with vaccine trials and the risk to President Trump that his own national security advisor has been affected. There you see Dr. Fauci. We have lots to discuss.
Let me get this cash.
Oh, spider.
Breakfast wants you back. Just crack an egg, packed with real potatoes, veggies, meat, and cheese. Just add a fresh egg for a hot scramble in less than 2 minutes to get those warm, fuzzy feelings again. Take breakfast back. Find it in the egg aisle. What if people with type 1 diabetes had the power to manage their condition without finger sticks? To always know their glucose levels and where they're headed, just a glance at their smartphones. The power to make treatment decisions, customize alerts and alarms to help keep them in range. The power to lower their A1C.
Come get this
All
cluster
this
right
knowledge, powered by a small wearable. The Dexcom G6. The coronavirus is wrecking state and local budgets. If the Senate doesn't take painful cuts to essential public services across America, fewer teachers and
I got the cash balloon too. The cluster strike go on top of the cash balloon.
But some say America should just go bankrupt. Text fund to 237-263 to tell Congress to fund our essential public services. MC is responsible for the content of this ad.
You have reached the 911 police emergency line. Due to defunding of the police department, we're sorry, but no one is here to take your call. If you're calling to report a rape, please press 1. To report a murder, press 2. To report a home invasion, press 3. For all other crimes, leave your name and number, and someone will get back to you. Our estimated wait time is currently 5 days. Goodbye.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
Nah, just pick it up. I'm gonna use mine.
Their office is a truck, and their workplace is your home. You won't find them on Main Street, but for over 20 years, you've been able to find them on HomeAdvisor. Book the best ever quote for your own project, online or with you.
Get out of here. You better get out of here.
Really makes me enjoy my day. Walking in Skechers' new arch fit footwear. Skechers teamed up with podiatrists to create a shoe that provides total foot and arch support for all-day comfort. You're such a drama queen. Get the all-day support you need with arch fit shoes from Skechers.
Okay, we're in fifth. We got 21 minutes left.
There's an enemy tank hunting you.
Go ahead, run out. Like, pick the
Forged empires develop your own city from the Stone Age to the future. Available in the App Store and Forge of Empires. Play now. Have you wanted to speak a new language, but thought it would be too difficult? Then try Babel.
Oh, let's get this
Babel
stuff down
starts
in
by
this house.
teaching you words and phrases that gradually get more complex. Soon, you're practicing short conversations. So at 15 minutes a day, you'll be speaking a new language in 3 weeks. Babel works because it's built around real life. It teaches you everyday practical conversations that you will actually use. Babel. Language. Try it free at Babel.com. To understand what is doing, go on, you know any company. Students need to focus on the only level for more than test score. It should be the free kind of good to go to bad school. United States of America to become the so the intent.
If you're a small business, you can tell. Things are back. Customers are out and about. Orders are picking up. And to adapt, you're going to need faster internet and reliable phone for less. So Spectrum Business is proud to offer new customers 1 free month of internet with speeds up to 200 megabits per second and business phone with advanced phone features. Call 833-919-2122 today. We're here for you because you're here for all of us.
There's Office 2. Xtier supports workers everywhere who find themselves now working from home. Call or click to get $100 off the amazing Xtier featuring dynamic variable lumbar support. Plus, for a limited time, you can also get free same-day shipping. This deal is good for any Xtier you choose. Create the world's most comfortable home office with Xtier. Call or click to order today and receive a 30-day risk-free trial and $100 off.
I'm Diane Gallagher in Atlanta, and this is CNN.
We're following all the breaking news on the coronavirus crisis as the U.S. death toll is climbing above 147,000. Let's talk about the crisis with the nation's most prominent expert on infectious diseases. We're joined by Dr. Anthony Fauci, the director of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases, and a key member of the White House Coronavirus Task Force. Dr. Fauci, thank you so much for joining us. We've got a lot to discuss. Appreciate it very much. We're now, months into this pandemic. The death toll is inching closer and closer to 150,000 Americans. Last week you said, and I'm quoting you now, you said, I'm not even sure we're halfway through. So if we're not halfway through, Dr. Fauci, where are we right now?
It's big as hell, bro. We only in the middle.
We know we have a considerable amount of activity. You know the numbers. We're still seeing, 50, 60 plus thousand cases a day. You just mentioned the total number. This is something we've got to get under better control. Hopefully we will as we get into the coming weeks and further into the summer. But if you look where we are right now, and even globally, well, even countries right now who have handled it well and have gotten down to a much lower baseline than we have, as they're starting to open up their economies and open up their countries, we're starting to see resurgences in other places like Hong Kong and Australia, places like that. So when we say we don't know where we are, it really is very difficult to predict.
Very difficult. We might see tens of thousands of Americans dying over the next few months. Is that right?
Well, that is conceivable. That's something we would hope to be able to avoid. But if you look at the deaths that are occurring right now, about 1,000 per day, unless we get our arms around this and get it suppressed, we will going to have further suffering and further death. And that's the reason why, as I've often said many, many times, there are things that we can do right now in the absence of a vaccine that can turn us around. The fundamental things of avoiding crowds, physical separation, universal wearing masks, closing the bars, hand hygiene. Those things matter, and they can make a difference. So hopefully we'll appreciate that and do it in a very strict way.
Hopefully that is the key word, because these are not difficult things to do. We just got to do it. Let's go through some of the specifics right now while I have Dr. Fauci. You know, the first phase 3 trial of a vaccine candidate here in the United States. Today we're talking about the Moderna vaccine. Tell us how this trial will work. As you say, researchers hope to have at least 15,000 volunteers enrolled by the end of the week. Tell us about what's going on.
Chopper right there.
Well, this is a phase 3 trial which is determined to find out if in fact the vaccine works, in addition to getting information further on safety. The safety data thus far looks good, but now it's crunch time. We're trying to figure out, does it actually work? So it's a 30,000 person trial. 15,000 will get the vaccine, 15,000 will get the placebo. The trial was launched today. This is truly record time. The virus was first put on a public database, the sequence, early on in January. We did a phase 1 trial very soon thereafter, and this is phase 3 right now, which will take several months to determine if in fact it does work. So to go from not even knowing what the virus was in early January to a phase 3 trial is really record time, and I might add, it was not done compromising safety, nor was it done compromising scientific integrity. It's just the technologies we have now and the ability to move very quickly have brought us to where we are right now, doing a phase 3 trial.
Well, how diverse is this group of volunteers? Say 30,000 volunteers will be involved. How diverse is the group in terms of race and age, for example?
Right there.
They're going to be stratified. There'll be people from 18 to 65, and 65 years of age and older. We're getting a diverse group. That was one of the main goals of this, to be representative of our society and for those at risk. Right now, if you look at the people who've enrolled, they haven't yet gotten the vaccine, but who've enrolled, about 19 or 20%
That's why I put a ticket down here.
about the same proportion are Latinx, which is very good. We really want to do that. In fact, we want to even get a greater proportion, because you want representation in the trial of those who are most at risk
I just jumped over here
adverse consequences of getting infected. And we know from the data that we've collected thus far that African Americans and Latinx are at greater risk not only of getting infected, but of having deleterious, negative, severe consequences of getting infected. So it's very important to get a diverse representation in the clinical trials, and I believe we're on their way to that goal.
That's really important. I understand you briefed the president on the vaccine trial earlier today in the Oval Office. Is that right?
That is correct. We spoke to him about what we started today. The first individual volunteer got it at 6:45 this morning in Savannah, Georgia, and there are now 89 sites throughout the country that will be enrolling individuals in the trial. So we explained all that to the president.
You say this phase 3 trial, 30,000 people will be involved, is truly historic, and it is. But at this point, is there any guarantee, Dr. Fauci, that this vaccine will actually work, that will provide immunity and save lives?
Well, there is never a guarantee when you're doing a clinical trial. If there was a guarantee, you wouldn't have to do the trial. So that's one of the reasons why you do a trial of this type and this magnitude, is to determine definitively, does the vaccine work and does it protect? So no guarantee. However, I must say, in the same breath, Wolf, that if you look at the early data, particularly the data from the phase 1 trial, and you looked at the kinds of responses that were induced in those volunteers, there were robust antibody responses. They were of a magnitude that you would see in convalescent plasma of individuals who've recovered from infection. And that's one of the hallmarks of prediction of the success of a vaccine. If you can induce a response with the vaccine that's comparable to or even better than the response of natural infection, then that's really a good start. So that's why it makes me cautiously optimistic, even though we can't guarantee anything, but cautiously optimistic that we will have a vaccine that works.
Because you've said several times you're hoping the vaccine will reduce a person's risk of infection by at least 60%. Do you think other vaccine candidates end up, beyond Moderna, for example, end up potentially being more effective? Johnson & Johnson, for example, the Oxford study that's underway?
Just have a, I don't know, bro. Just start thinking about this. Like, if you want to just start, you gotta have a
that the Moderna candidate that we're talking about right now is even more than 60% effective. We would hope we can get it as effective as we can. The good news, Will, is that there, as you mentioned correctly, there are multiple vaccine candidates that will be going into advanced phase 3 trials within the next few months. So hopefully we'll have more than one successful candidate, because we need vaccine not only for the United States, but for the rest of the world. So the more we have, the more vaccine that's being produced, the better off that we are.
We've known about this coronavirus since at least January. The country still, it's hard to believe, because the United States of America can't deliver as much as necessary rapid test results. So why should we believe right now that the government, private companies, for example, will do a better job actually getting people vaccinated once we find a safe and effective vaccine?
Well, this is a public-private partnership, Wolf, that I can assure you is on track and doing very, very well. You know, this vaccine was developed here at the National Institutes of Health in collaboration with the Moderna company. We have a vaccine trial network set up to conduct the trial. So the idea about getting this off the ground and getting the trial conducted, you can almost guarantee that is going to happen. Well, I can't guarantee you the success of the vaccine, because only a clinical trial will determine that. But I can virtually guarantee you that this has got off to a good start, and we will get this trial completed.
Well, you're cautiously optimistic, and I spoke with your colleagues who are also cautiously optimistic. Once there is a vaccine, and we all hope there will be one, who will get priority in getting vaccinated? Elderly people, people with underlying health conditions, minorities who are more vulnerable, let's say, right now, healthcare workers, who gets priority?
Well, the standard way is an advisory committee to the CDC advisory committee on immunization.
I mean, not plunder, but it's the stimulus. You got to have 45 in your account just to be deployed.
Together to fortify getting ethicists, vaccinologists, public health officials, community representatives to make a prioritization. But you're correct, Will.
I'm right here. I'm running upstairs.
That what will happen is that the people who can benefit most. Also, you want to get the health care providers who are going to be putting themselves at risk in taking care of coronavirus-infected individuals. Also, the elderly and those with underlying conditions that make them more likely to have a severe and serious outcome. The final decision will be by a committee that makes that recommendation, but generally that's the kind of thing that they recommend.
Somewhat better,
even if there is a safe and effective vaccine, Dr. Fauci, a poll from May found that only about half of Americans say they would get vaccinated. How much of a problem is that there are a lot of people out there who simply don't trust vaccines?
Well, Wolf, you make a good point, and that's something that we are concerned about. And that's the reason why we're going to take very seriously the issue of community engagement and community outreach. We've got to get out there with people who are trusted at the community level to get individuals to understand that this is extremely important for their own health, and importantly, for the health of the community and the health of the nation. Because if we get a widespread uptake of vaccine, we can put an end to this pandemic, and we can create a veil of immunity in this country that would prevent the infection from coming back.
Hey, we're going to jump right here to these
people convinced, and you have to do it by extending yourself to the community, not by a dictator from Washington, but by engaging the community at the
Jump in the
community
middle
level.
behind her.
And I hope we can turn
Jump on the
around
roof.
that reluctance to get vaccinated.
Public health campaign is going to be so critically important. Beyond the vaccine, we're also talking about therapies, therapeutic issues that potentially might not prevent you from getting coronavirus, but might prevent you from getting really sick, and God forbid, even dying. Where does that stand right now? Because there are a bunch of therapies out there that are being studied right now. Which ones give you the most optimism?
Well, there are two that randomized placebo-controlled trials will have already shown to be beneficial. One was a trial of remdesivir, which showed in people who are hospitalized with lung disease that diminishes significantly the time it takes to recover. Another randomized placebo-controlled trial showed that the steroid dexamethasone in people on ventilators and requiring oxygen diminishes significantly the death rate. What we do need now, and there are multiple trials that are ongoing or that will soon be initiated, to what happens if you treat people early. One of these is monoclonal antibodies, or a natural product that the body makes that directly attacks the virus. That's one trial, and multiple candidates from multiple companies that are looking at that.
So you can come back.
To evaluate the efficacy of the passive transfusion of convalescent plasma.
No, I still had enough. That's what I'm saying.
There are a whole bunch of drugs that are being screened for and developed that are directed against the virus, so that we can hopefully block it early on, so that people don't go on to advanced disease. A lot of activity going on right now, even as we speak.
Yeah, very. From what I hear, the potential therapies out there are very, very encouraging. Let's hope that they work. Another issue: the school year fast approaching the next few weeks. Supposed to start in-class teaching. The administration is still encouraging schools to fully reopen in person, but in one hotspot, we're talking about Florida right now, the number of coronavirus cases in children, Dr. Fauci, has risen by 34% over the last week alone. Do you see any way schools in the hotspots, let's say Florida, Texas, Arizona, California, can safely reopen at the start of the school year, and a lot of the school year starts in August or early September?
Well, Wolf, I think you have to start off by saying what is the default position that you would like to hold, and that is we should try as best as possible to open the schools for a number of reasons. And we know that the downstream unintended ripple effect consequences of keeping the children out of school is something that can really have bad effects, not only on the children, but also on working parents who will have to stay home to take care of the children. However, and I underline however, having said that, what is paramount is the safety and the welfare of the children and of their teachers. And so we live in a big country that has a lot of diversity with regard to the level of infection in a particular community. And the people responsible need to take that in effect. If you can open up a school safely because you have a very, very low level of infection, then likely that will happen. But when you have a lot of infections, you've got to make a decision.
You say, bro, I'm going to edit that video, bro.
Making sure you account for and are very sensitive to the safety of the children.
You're trying to save your friends to get this
district to district, and from state and city to city. And that needs to be decided at the local level.
So that's why I was trying to give you the 45, so just in case that happens.
Huge priority. You want these kids to be safe, but even if they are asymptomatic or have really little minor symptoms, as you know, especially if they're 10 and older, we're told they can pass on, they can transmit this virus to their parents, their grandparents, and to others. How worried are you? How worried should we be, Dr. Fauci, about that?
Really?
Well, I wouldn't say worried. I think we absolutely need to take that into consideration.
You gotta just make sure you have 45. You gotta make sure you tell them
that when I say the safety of the children and the safety of the people,
just
the
lie,
teachers,
though.
I include that in what happens when the children go home. And there was a study that recently showed that children from 10 to 19 years old can transmit the virus to adults as easily as adults can transmit it to adults. These are things you have to take into consideration when you make a decision about schools.
The other big news today, I want to get your reaction, Dr. Fauci. Robert O'Brien, the president's national security advisor, has tested positive for coronavirus. Are you confident that this doesn't present a risk, let's say, to the president himself or other senior officials in the White House?
Well, you know, it depends on when Bob got
press the middle touchpad, bro. Read
that he had.
The left
I mean,
side.
I've been in the same room with him, you know, a week or two ago. It depends on when he was